Hey, it's Filbert, and welcome to September's EXP Monthly. If you're new here, EXP Monthly is simply a book club, but for video games. We have a Discord, links are in the description. We talk about the game, we all try and play together that month, and end it with a podcast at the end of the month or start of the next month. But with no further ado, I'm going to hand this one over to Miss Moon.
Well, hello there. How's everyone doing? This is Miss Moon, one of the community members of EXP Monthly, a book club except for video games. Filbert asked me if I could spend a few minutes to talk about the next game up for discussion for September, and it happens to be one of my favorite games of all time, and that is Chrono Trigger. This is a game that I hold pretty near and dear to my heart because this, along with Final Fantasy VI, was one of the first JRPGs that I ever experienced. It was 1995, and me and my older brother stumbled upon it at our local rental store. The box art just stood out to us immediately. That classic style by the late Akira Toriyama just kind of grabbed our attention, and we thought we'd give it a shot. And since then, I was enthralled with this genre because I had never really experienced games that had compelling stories, interesting characters, world building. That was just all pretty new mechanics for me, aside from what we were used to playing, like Super Mario Brothers or Zelda, for example. Speaking of the story, Chrono Trigger has to be one of my favorite narratives about time travel, simply because it's one of the least convoluted tales involving time travel that I really enjoy, and felt like it was written in a way that had weight to it, it had payoff, and ultimately it had purpose in regards to what you were trying to do in traveling to all these different ages. It felt like this grand adventure that, based on the choices that you make throughout the game or in regards to certain characters, you actually get to witness the effect of those changes. And that is something that I've always loved about Chrono Trigger. And it never felt bogged down with too many threads that couldn't be tied together. So by the time the credits rolled, you really felt like you experienced a self-contained narrative that was effective and moving. It's just one of those storylines that stuck with me ever since. And especially one particular part in the game, which I won't spoil, but really sticks out to me down to this day because of how relatable it is and human it is. And so when you run across it, you may know what I'm talking about. Another aspect I want to highlight is the game's soundtrack. Composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, he made his debut as composer through this title. And when you hear his music from where he started, it just really shows the immense potential that he had from the get-go. Because the music in Chrono Trigger, he nailed the spirit, the character of this game's identity to a T. And that's pretty impressive for someone's first debut work. Interesting fact, he had worked himself so hard and put himself under so much stress that he gave himself an ulcer in the process. And that's what caused Nobuo Uematsu to step in to contribute some music while Yasunori Mitsuda recovered. The music just hits you from the get-go. After you see that infamous pendulum of the clock swinging and you hear time ticking, and then the opening theme begins and shows the montage of the game, and you start hearing that what sounds to me like a saxophone. It has a very jazzy sound to it almost, but is so instantly memorable that it immediately pulls you in, and you feel that throughout the entire soundtrack and through the different ages that you go through. It's distinct, it has character, and I feel like Yasunori Mitsuda understood exactly how to portray this world from the get-go. That carried on into what I consider his magnum opus, Chrono Cross. The last thing I want to mention is the battle system. It's your classic turn-based where you control 3 characters at a time. But one of the things I always loved about it was the dual/triple tech attacks you could do with different party members and just try different combinations and experiment. It's definitely one of those aspects to the combat that kind of encourages you to change out different characters to see what you can pull off in different combinations that keep the combat from feeling too monotonous. In conclusion, I really hope you can join us for this month's discussion. And if this is your first time playing Chrono Trigger, I would love to hear first-time players' perspective on a game that's been with me since childhood, and to get the differences in opinions. Now, I honestly haven't played Chrono Trigger in a number of years, so I'm excited to revisit it and see if my thoughts about it still hold up, if they've changed a little bit, or it's just nostalgia blinding me, and I just think this game is greater than it really is. I don't think that's the case, but you never know. So, thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you in this month's discussion.
Awesome job. I just want to thank Miss Moon again for that awesome write-up and doing that voiceover. It's really appreciated. And for anyone else in future months when games are coming up, if you want to do the pregame, the voiceover, or the write-up, just let me know. Reach out to me. I'm always looking for more people to be involved, especially if a game is close to you, or you're nostalgic for it, or you have some other connection. And again, links are in the description. If you're new, join the Discord. That's where all the discussion and all the streams and everything are being shared. And let's jump into it. I'm excited to discover this game for the first time. It's been probably the longest game since the 90s that has been on my backlog that I've just never got to. So let's jump into it.